If you ever see a link called howyouDie.net, don't click it. I'm saying this not as a warning, but as a confession, because by the time you hear this, I'll already be gone. I know how that sounds. Another internet ghost story, another idiot playing hacker at 3 a.m. But this isn't fiction. I didn't write this for clicks or sympathy. I'm recording it because someone needs to know what happens when curiosity stops being harmless. When a single click becomes a death sentence. I found the site by accident, or at least, that's what I keep telling myself. You don't find things like that by chance. Someone wanted me to see it. It started like every other sleepless night. Headphones in, background hum of my computer fan, a dozen tabs open I wasn't really reading. I was scrolling through a thread called Websites You Should Never Visit. It was full of fake stuff, obviously, urban legends, broken links, cheap jump scares. But buried near the bottom, one comment stood out. It was just a sentence. Don't type your name into howyouDie.net. It doesn't tell you how. It shows you. No emojis, no flair, no replies. Just that. I should have scrolled past it. I did at first, but it stuck with me. The simplicity of it, the confidence. Like whoever wrote it wasn't joking, wasn't trying to scare anyone. They were warning us. A few hours later, after a few too many energy drinks and not enough reason, I typed the URL into my browser. It didn't load right away, just a black screen. Then one line of text faded in, stark white against the dark. You shouldn't be here. That should have been enough. I should have closed the tab and gone to bed. But I laughed. Out loud, because it felt so cliché, like some horror ARG trying too hard to be creepy. I even muttered, "Nice try, internet." I hovered my cursor over the X in the corner, but before I could click it, the page changed. You looked for us. Now we'll look for you. I froze. My first thought was malware. Phishing scam. Nothing supernatural. Just some edgy coder trying to spook people. But then my webcam light blinked on. For 1 second. Just one. Then off again. I sat there, staring at that tiny LED, trying to convince myself it was a glitch. But my heart didn't believe it. That's when I started recording. I didn't know why. Maybe I thought documenting it would make me feel safe. Like if I kept talking, whatever this was would stay digital, containable, a story, and nothing more. But as I spoke into the mic, I noticed something on the browser tab. The title bar, where it usually says the website name, was changing. It was typing out words on its own. We know when you'll die. And then, beneath it, a date. Not random numbers. A real date, 3 days from now. My first instinct was to laugh again, but it caught in my throat. My cursor wouldn't move. My keyboard stopped responding. Then the timestamp began to pulse, slowly, like a heartbeat. I forced the computer off, pulled the plug, and sat in silence. No sound but my own breathing and the dull buzz of adrenaline in my ears. It's been 3 days since that night. 3 days since I clicked a link I shouldn't have. The timer hits 0 in less than an hour. That's why I'm recording this now, because someone needs to know that it's real. The site, the message, the countdown. I didn't believe it at first. I didn't believe it until the countdown started. It started 3 nights ago. 3 nights ago, I was just another sleepless idiot staring at a glowing screen, pretending the internet could cure boredom. I'd been working freelance, web design, debugging junk code, the kind of jobs that make your soul leak out one tab at a time. It was around 2 a.m. My eyes burned, my brain buzzed, and the only thing louder than my laptop's fan was the silence of my apartment. That kind of silence can make anything feel heavier. The fridge hums like it's breathing. Shadows move even when they shouldn't. You start to feel like your own reflection is watching you, waiting for something. So, naturally, I did what every lonely, overstimulated 20-something does. I opened Reddit. The thread was called Websites You Should Never Visit, updated 2025. Most of it was garbage. Classic creepypasta stuff. Old 2000 sites like saddestmansmile.jpg, the mythical Mariana's Web, or that one game that supposedly drives you insane. It was nostalgia horror for people who missed the era of chain emails and dial-up ghosts. I was scrolling half asleep, the glow of the monitor painting everything in a soft blue haze. I remember thinking, God, This is pathetic. I wasn't scared. I wasn't even entertained. Just numb. I clicked link after link, watching 404 pages load like dead ends in a maze. Then I saw it. A post buried deep in the comments, with almost no upvotes. The username was deleted. The text was plain. This site knows when you'll die. That's it. No link, no story, no details. Just a claim sitting in the void, daring anyone to care. The replies were the usual mix of sarcasm and suspicion. LOL okay, nice ARG. Fake as hell. Screenshots or it didn't happen. But there was one reply that got under my skin. It's real. Don't search it. My roommate did. He's gone. I clicked their profile out of reflex, but it was deleted, account scrubbed clean. That was the first crack in my skepticism. Not a big one, just enough for curiosity to slip through. I opened a new tab and started digging. Typing variations. Website predicts death. howyoudie.net. Nothing came up on Google, which should have been comforting. Instead, it made my pulse tick faster. You'd think a site that weird would be plastered all over the internet. Reddit threads, YouTube conspiracy videos, something. But there was nothing. Just digital silence. I don't know what it is about forbidden things online. The moment you can't find them, you start wanting to. That itch in the back of your brain that whispers, if it's not real, why is it hiding? So I kept looking. I even checked old archived pages, forums, a few sketchy onion mirrors people linked to in comments. Most were dead or empty. One thread from 2018 mentioned a death prediction site that reads your metadata, but the screenshots were gone. The user who posted it hadn't logged in for 7 years. I told myself it was just internet archaeology, that I wasn't really looking for it. But you know that feeling when your fingers type before your brain decides to stop them? That's what it felt like something subtle was guiding the mouse, whispering one more click, one more search. That's when I found the post, the one that changed everything. It was in a hidden corner of a defunct message board I used to lurk on in college, a kind of half-forgotten digital graveyard for programmers and conspiracy theorists. Someone had revived an old thread titled Sites That Shouldn't Exist. The last comment was timestamped 2:31 a.m., only 6 minutes before I found it. It read, "If you value your life, don't type your name into howyoudie.net." No one had replied. No one could have. The board had been inactive for years. That's when I noticed something even stranger. The comment had been posted by my old username, one I hadn't used since 2019. For a long second, I just stared at the screen, my pulse pounding in my ears. My first instinct was to check the account, assuming maybe someone hacked it, spoofed the name. But it was me. My old posts. My same syntax. My same typos. The IP matched the city I lived in now. It didn't make sense. None of it did. I sat there, staring at that line until my cursor started blinking like a heartbeat. The kind that slows, pauses, then waits. That was the moment curiosity won. It was 2:37 a.m. when I clicked it. The page didn't load right away. For a moment, I thought it was broken, just a blank white screen, like the internet's way of shrugging at me. Then, slowly, black text appeared in the center. Enter your name to know your death. That was it. No logo, no ads, no pop-ups, just a sterile, empty page like someone had stripped away everything unnecessary except the question itself. I actually laughed. It was so blunt it almost felt lazy, like some college kid's unfinished coding project. I typed out, "Nice try, creep," into the text box, hit enter, and waited. The cursor blinked. Nothing happened. Then the page glitched, flickering like a dying light bulb before freezing completely. My first thought was, okay, buggy site, probably infected with 100 Trojans. Great job, genius. I was about to close the tab when the screen went black. Then a new line appeared, white letters on dark. Your death, October 10th, 2025, 3:14 a.m. I frowned. That was exactly 3 days from now. Down to the minute. I snorted under my breath. Sure. Cool. Very scary. I took a screenshot, more amused than concerned, and sent it to my group chat with the caption, "Guess I've got 3 days left. Drinks on me." Within seconds, my phone buzzed with replies. "Ethan, Bro, it's 2 a.m. Go to bed. Laura, fake site. Probably just pulls system date plus 3 days. Nice try, final destination. Mika, LOL, send the link. I hesitated. I don't know why. It was supposed to be funny. But something about the page, it didn't feel like a joke. Still, I copied the link and dropped it in the chat. Enjoy your free Doom prediction. For a moment, nothing happened. Then my laptop fan whirred louder, like it was straining. The page flashed once more, then shifted again. You have already shared your fate. I blinked. The cursor didn't move. I tried refreshing, but the option was grayed out. It wouldn't let me click anywhere. Not the tabs, not even Task Manager. The mouse froze dead center on the text. I leaned back, frowning. Okay, weird. Then my phone buzzed again. Mika. Dude, where's the link? It's blank. Ethan. Yeah, message deleted? Laura, you good? I checked the chat. The link was gone. Just my message, empty now, like I'd sent nothing at all. A chill rolled through me. Not fear exactly, but confusion sharpened by exhaustion. Maybe the site blocked sharing. Or maybe my antivirus auto-deleted it. That had to be it. I went back to the laptop. The page was blank again. I refreshed out of reflex, and for a split second, I swore I saw my webcam light flicker. Okay. Nope. I muttered, slamming the tab shut. The cursor hesitated, then the browser closed. The homepage appeared, ordinary again. YouTube thumbnails, Reddit, nothing unusual. But I couldn't shake that text. Your death. October 10th, 2025, 3:14 a.m. It was so precise. Too precise. Every other scammy website like that gives vague nonsense like soon or in your sleep. This one gave me a timestamp. I rationalized it the way all self-respecting skeptics do, with sarcasm. I even opened a new tab and started Googling howyouDie.net death prediction joke site, expecting a Reddit post calling it a hoax. Nothing. Not a single search result. That silence again. That hollow, digital kind of quiet. The air in my apartment felt heavier, thicker, like the static hum of electronics had grown teeth. I got up to grab a drink, laughing to myself just to fill the emptiness. But when I came back, my computer wasn't idle anymore. The browser had reopened itself. Same white screen. Same text. Only this time, there was something new underneath. Do not close this page. My stomach turned over. I hadn't touched the keyboard. A soft ping echoed from my phone on the desk. The screen lit up. A notification I didn't recognize. Countdown. 2 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes. I stared at it, my brain refusing to register what I was looking at. It wasn't from any app I'd ever installed. No logo, no sender name. Just the timer ticking down by the second. I tried swiping it away. It stayed. I powered off the phone. It turned itself back on. The same message reappeared, brighter now. Countdown. 2 days, 23 hours, 58 minutes. I felt a sharp, irrational anger. At the phone, at the site, at myself for even caring. I yanked the battery out and threw the device across the couch. The room fell silent again except for the low hum of my laptop. The screen pulsed once. Then another message appeared. It has begun. My laugh came out cracked, dry. I muttered to no one, sure. Okay, great start to my week. But under the thin sarcasm, something ugly was stirring, something colder than fear. The kind of dread you feel when you realize you might have already done the one thing you were never supposed to do. And in the corner of the screen, where the title bar usually sits, the text started typing itself again. We're watching. I shut the lid hard. The screen flickered through the crack as it closed. Just once. Like a dying heartbeat. It started the next morning. I woke up to the sound of my laptop fan spinning again. Too loud, too insistent. I hadn't even opened it. When I lifted the lid, the screen flashed white for a second, then displayed the same message I'd seen last night. Countdown. 1 day, 23 hours, 17 minutes. The same digits I'd seen on my phone before I tore it apart. Still ticking. Still moving. I sat there for a few seconds, just staring at it. My brain went into overdrive. Maybe malware, some synchronized exploit, maybe a remote access prank. I wasn't new to this kind of thing. I'd coded my way out of nastier viruses before, so I went into full troubleshooting mode. I booted into safe mode, cleared caches, deleted cookies, nuked every suspicious file from my system. Then I factory reset the laptop. When it restarted, there was nothing for a moment, just the default Windows desktop. Then the timer popped up again, sitting neatly in the corner like a desktop widget. Countdown. 1 day, 22 hours, 48 minutes. No app, no process ID, nothing in Task Manager. It was just there. I felt the first real hint of fear then, not the kind that jumps at shadows, but the slow, heavy kind that crawls up your throat and stays. I went for my phone next. It was still lying on the couch where I'd left it, battery half hanging out. When I snapped it back in, it vibrated once and came to life, screen black except for the same timer. Countdown. 1 day, 22 hours, 46 minutes. I switched off Wi-Fi. The timer stayed. I put it in airplane mode. Still there. I shut off the router, unplugged everything, even pulled the Ethernet cable out of the wall. The numbers didn't care. They just kept falling, 1 second at a time. I even tried smashing the phone. The screen cracked, but the display still glowed faintly under the spiderweb fractures, numbers bleeding through glass. That's when I knew this wasn't just software. By noon, I'd convinced myself I was losing it. I called Ethan on Discord. His voice came through sleepy, irritated. "Man, you sound like you've been up all night." "I have. Listen, do me a favor. Don't go to that website." He laughed. "Oh my God, you're still on that? You sent it last night, and it was blank, remember?" "I'm serious, Ethan. Something's wrong with it. Like, actually wrong." He paused. "You're being weird." "What? Is it one of those curse site ARG things?" "Chill out." I didn't respond. He sighed, then said, "Fine. I'll check it out." "What was it again?" "Don't," I said quickly, but it was too late. I could hear his keyboard through the mic. Click. Typing. Silence. Then he said quietly, "Okay, that's freaky." "What?" "It says my name." And, "What the hell?" "It's counting down too." My chest went cold. "What's your timer?" He read it off. October 9th. "That's tonight." We both went quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, "Yeah, nice joke. I get it. Virus, countdown, spooky numbers. You win." I didn't have the energy to argue. He hung up soon after. That night, I barely slept. Every screen I owned, phone, laptop, even my TV, flickered on at random, each showing the same timer. Sometimes the numbers would pause, like they were waiting for me to notice, then continue. When the time hit midnight, I sat frozen in the dark, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. Relief washed over me like a drug. I laughed, shaky, nervous, stupid laughter. I grabbed my phone to text Ethan, just to say he was right, that it was all nonsense. But his messages were gone. Every single one. I checked Instagram. His account deleted. Discord, user not found. Even our old group photos, his face blurred out, like some bad Photoshop filter. Then Laura messaged me. "Laura, where's Ethan? He hasn't answered all day." I just stared at the screen. What was I supposed to say? That a countdown erased him? That he'd been timed out? Instead, I typed back, "No idea. Probably just messing with us." But when I looked at my laptop again, something new had appeared under my timer. "You have one witness left." And underneath that, Lara's full name. I called her immediately. "Don't open anything weird, okay? Don't click any link, don't." She cut me off, laughing nervously. "Adnan, chill. Ethan texted me a link earlier. Probably the same one. I'll check it out." "Lara, no." Too late. The line went dead. I sat there, staring at my phone, the silence between us stretching into something unbearable. Then, slowly, the timer on my screen changed again. Countdown. 1 day, 3 hours, 11 minutes. And below it, a new line blinked to life. "It spreads faster when shared." That was when I stopped trying to delete it. If this thing wasn't a virus, if it wasn't code, then it was something else. Something using code to reach through the cracks of the digital world. So I did the only thing that made sense to me at the time. I decided to trace it. I started with the domain, howyouDie.net. No registrar info. No IP trail. Just a redirect that looped endlessly until I bypassed it using an old TOR setup I'd built for freelance work. That's when I saw it. The page looked the same as before, white background, black text, but the address bar didn't show .net anymore. It showed a string of random characters. A hidden server. Deep web architecture. At the bottom, one more message waited for me. Welcome back. And below that, in smaller text, you shouldn't have come here again. The timer ticked down another second. 1 day, 3 hours, 10 minutes. And I swear, I could hear it now. A faint clicking, like a heartbeat made of code. The thing about the deep web is, it's not what movies make it out to be. No neon skulls, no hackers in hoodies typing at impossible speeds. Just endless, quiet pages, dead links, forums that haven't been touched in years, broken images that never load. But buried under that digital rot, you can still feel something breathing. I spent hours tracing that redirect string. Every time I thought I found the origin server, it rerouted through another abandoned node. Ukraine, Singapore, Iceland, back to the US again. Like something alive didn't want to be cornered. Finally, one of the proxy routes took me somewhere different, an archive index. The title bar read /obituarynet/threads. There were dozens of posts, most from years ago. Usernames like Cold Ashes, Timeless404, Empty Chair, Guest deleted. I scrolled past until one caught my eye. It predicted my brother's death, down to the minute. The post was long, panicked, full of screenshots. The guy said he'd used the site as a joke, then his brother died in a freak accident exactly when the countdown ended. He tried to warn others, but his thread ended mid-sentence. No replies, no closure. Another user had written, "It doesn't show you death. It makes you watch it." And underneath, someone responded only once. Admin 000. You can't change your death, but you can choose to watch. That was the first time I'd seen that name. The formatting was different, too. Bright red text on black. The kind of HTML color you'd never use unless you wanted attention. I clicked the profile. No bio, no activity log, no posts. Just one pinned message. We made it to understand curiosity. We forgot to account for guilt. I sat back in my chair, rubbing my eyes. My room was dark except for the glow of the monitor. I hadn't noticed how long I'd been scrolling. I opened a few more threads. Most ended abruptly, sometimes with a half-finished word or a single punctuation mark. One had a video link, broken now, but the thumbnail still loaded. It was black, with faint white text that read. I thought I was safe after deleting it. That's when the déjà vu hit. These people, they'd all done the same things I had. Deleted caches, wiped devices, smashed screens. None of it mattered. I was reading digital gravestones. Then the cursor on my screen blinked. Once, twice, and a new post appeared at the top of the forum. Admin 000. You're late. I froze. My IP shouldn't have been visible. I was on a VPN, buried under layers of encryption. But somehow, it knew I was there. A second message followed. You still think you're the one searching, but you're being observed. The words felt like they crawled off the monitor and settled behind me. I turned. Nothing there. When I looked back, the forum was gone. Just a 404 error. I tried refreshing the page. No luck. The browser crashed, and when I reopened it, all my tabs were blank except for one, howyoudie.net. It loaded instantly this time. No white background, no input box, just a black screen. In the middle, a single line of text appeared. You chose to watch. The words pulsed faintly, as if alive. Then, a video thumbnail appeared below it. My hand moved before my brain caught up. I clicked. The feed was grainy, looked like a live stream from a webcam. It showed a dimly lit room, a bed, and a laptop open on a desk. At first, I thought it was another recording from one of the old threads. But then the camera panned slightly, like it was moving on its own. It showed me, sitting at my desk. I slammed the laptop shut, heart pounding. My ears rang in the silence. When I finally dared to open it again, the video was gone. The site's background had changed back to white, like nothing had happened. Only one new message sat in the middle of the screen. You can still stop this. Don't check your email. I didn't breathe for a few seconds. Because in the corner of my desktop, I saw the notification light up, an unread message. No sender, no subject, just one line of text where the preview should be. You look too deep. The timer reappeared, glowing faintly over my wallpaper. Countdown, 11 hours, 02 minutes. And for the first time, I felt like those numbers weren't just counting down. They were counting toward me. The email sat there like a black hole in my inbox. No sender, no subject line, just a blank address field with my name in the to slot. My finger hovered over the mouse, trembling. I told myself not to click it. I clicked it anyway. The message opened instantly. No HTML header, no timestamp. Just plain white text on a black background. The rules of HOW.net. Do not refresh the page. Do not share the link. Do not attempt to change your date. If your timer stops, run. No greeting. No sign-off. Just those 4 lines, staring back at me like commandments etched into stone. I sat frozen, reading them again and again. My laptop's fan whined softly. Outside, the streetlights flickered like bad film. Then the realization hit me. I had already refreshed the page. Twice. I had already shared the link. Ethan, Laura. And last night, in a moment of desperation, I tried changing my date in the code inspector, thinking maybe it was some client-side trick. I'd broken every rule. My pulse thundered in my ears. I wanted to delete the email, but when I tried to click away, the cursor wouldn't move. My trackpad was frozen. The screen blinked once. Then a new line appeared under the rules. We warned you. My whole body went cold. The email closed itself. My desktop returned, or at least what looked like my desktop. The wallpaper was subtly different now. My face was in it. Not a photo I remembered taking, just a blurry reflection of me sitting at the desk, head bowed, like a mugshot. Then my phone buzzed. A push notification from a news app, one barely ever used. Breaking. Young woman found dead near campus. I opened it, fingers shaking. The article was short, unfinished, like the writer had stopped mid-draft. But the photo at the top made my stomach drop. Laura. No details. No time of death. Just foul play suspected. I felt something in me go numb, a hollowing out sensation, like my bones had turned to glass. On my laptop, the timer flickered. Countdown, 9 hours, 14 minutes. The numbers pulsed red for a second, then settled back to white. And beneath it, a new line of text appeared. If your timer stops, run. The words glowed faintly, as if burning themselves into my vision. I slammed the lid shut, but I could still see them behind my eyelids, like afterimages burned by a camera flash. That's when something shifted inside me. The fear was still there, massive, suffocating, but it wasn't the only thing anymore. There was also anger, sharp and electric. I'm not a genius, but I know code. I've spent years in the guts of systems, tearing through obfuscation, reverse engineering scripts meant to be unbreakable. If this thing could predict death, then it was running on some set of rules. Rules meant code. Code meant structure. And structure meant weaknesses. I opened the laptop again. The timer glared back at me. Countdown, 9 hours, 13 minutes. I whispered under my breath. If it can predict my death, maybe I can rewrite mine. The site flickered once, like it had heard me. And then it loaded a new page. A blank white space with a single blinking cursor. Waiting. I flexed my fingers over the keyboard. If this was a game, I was done playing by its rules. Transition to next section, his decision to hack back. I spent the next few hours in a haze of caffeine and obsession. My fingers flew over the keyboard, tearing through layers of network code, tracing the site's back end like a digital bloodhound. The deeper I went, the stranger it became. Every server I accessed was cloaked under proxies and encryption, but the real shock came when I stumbled across a hidden directory. It was labeled simply, /users/active/. Inside were dozens of encrypted files, each named after a username. Most were nonsensical, coded in random strings I didn't recognize. But then I saw it, my own name. I hesitated. My pulse raced. Curiosity warred with instinct. Then I clicked. The file expanded into a live video feed. At first, I thought it was a prank. Grainy footage, flickering shadows, distorted audio, The kind of glitchy found footage you see in a bad horror short. But then my own desk appeared. My room. My laptop. And there I was, sitting at this very desk, typing into the same terminal. My own hands moving in perfect real time. I slammed my fingers against the keyboard, hoping it was some trick of latency. But the feed continued. Every breath, every twitch, every bead of sweat on my forehead, mirrored in the video. I scrolled down and realized the same pattern existed for other files. Ethan's, Lara's, even usernames I recognized from the deep web forum. Each feed displayed them in real time, trapped in their rooms, their private spaces, completely unaware that they were being observed. A cold weight sank into my chest. It wasn't just watching my screen. It was my screen. The site wasn't predicting death. It was surveilling life. Every keystroke, every decision, every hesitation, logged and displayed for some unknown audience. I tried closing the file. Control+W, Alt+F4. Task Manager. Nothing. The feed stayed, and with it, the timer. Countdown. 28 minutes and 47 seconds. I ripped out my Ethernet cable, unplugged the router. The feed flickered, slowed, but didn't die. It only distorted like static on an old TV. I leaned back, gagging on a mix of fear and rage. This isn't code anymore, I whispered. Code doesn't bleed. Then, in the corner of the live feed, the cursor began moving on its own. Letters typed across the screen. Why are you trying to stop it? My hands shook. I tried to look away, but I couldn't. The feed was locked to my vision. My room, my life, my every action, exposed. I knew then that I wasn't just being watched. I was a participant. The website didn't want to predict death. It wanted witnesses. And I was both subject and spectator. Desperation hit. If I couldn't close it, maybe I could break it. Maybe I could rewrite the code midstream, scramble the files, make my presence unpredictable. I opened a terminal window and started writing scripts to inject noise, to confuse the back-end algorithms, anything to regain control. My fingers moved faster than my brain could think. The feed started to glitch. Ethan's room appeared as a blur. Lara's was pixelated. My own hands split into multiple overlapping images like a warped reflection in shattered glass. But then the timer changed. On my wall, where the projector I'd hastily set up cast a faint glow, the countdown appeared. Even though the laptop was off, even though the scripts were running wild, even though I pulled the plug, 12 minutes and 14 seconds. I froze. No computer, no network, no power. Nothing should be able to project a timer onto my wall. And yet, there it was. A precise, ticking heartbeat counting down towards something I couldn't stop. I backed away. The projector light stretched across the room, illuminating the shadows that had felt like safe corners moments ago. The phone buzzed. No notifications, no app icons, just a silent vibration. I looked down. The same timer was reflected in the screen. It was everywhere now. My walls, my ceiling, even the reflective surface of the coffee table. I wanted to scream. My voice died in my throat. Somewhere in the back of my mind, a horrifying thought took hold. Maybe this wasn't just about predicting death. Maybe it was about inevitability, exposure, surrender, watching and being watched, all at the same time. And the worst part? I had already chosen to see it. The timer ticked down. 00:12:13. I knew there was no turning back. The timer on my wall was no longer just a number. It had become a heartbeat, a drumbeat, a pulse syncing with my own. 59 minutes and 58 seconds. 1 hour left. I'd barricaded myself inside my apartment, bolted the door, shoved a chair under the knob, unplugged every device, smashed my phone, even flipped the breaker to kill the power. But it didn't matter. The glow was still there, projected across my wall, my ceiling, the glass of my window. 45 minutes and 33 seconds. It followed me like a shadow. At first, I tried to fight back the panic with logic. It's just an elaborate prank, I whispered. Some kind of AR overlay, a mind trick, a viral app. But the whisper of my own voice sounded wrong, like someone else was speaking just half a second behind me. I caught my reflection in the darkened window, and for the first time, it didn't match me. My reflection blinked a beat late, moved its head at a slightly different angle, like it was trying to keep up. 30 minutes and 1 second. That was when the sounds began. Footsteps in the hallway outside my door, soft and measured. No one should be there. My neighbors were long asleep. I held my breath, straining to listen. The steps stopped. Silence. Then a whisper. Not from outside the door, but from my unplugged laptop. Its dark screen flickered faintly, and the voice came through, soft, tinny, like an old answering machine. You can't change it. You chose to watch. I stumbled backward. The laptop screen blinked to life. The website had loaded itself again, this time on black, with a single white box in the middle. Do you want to watch? The words pulsed gently, like a living thing. 18 minutes and 44 seconds. My hands trembled. I wanted to slam the lid shut, but I couldn't. I couldn't look away. The glow from the screen lit up my fingers like frost. Do you want to watch? It repeated, the voice now clear and close. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. What happens if I say no? I whispered. No response. Just the cursor blinking. 12 minutes and 3 seconds. The footsteps started again. This time closer, slower. My door rattled once, then stopped. I typed no. The site didn't react. The words disappeared, replaced again by the question. Do you want to watch? The timer ticked down. 8 minutes and 59 seconds. My reflection in the window was grinning now. I wasn't. Its teeth showed, pale and too sharp, its eyes wide and empty. I backed into the corner of the room. My laptop screen stayed bright, like a single eye watching me. The cursor blinked once, twice, then the question changed. It's already begun. Are you ready? My heart hammered. My breath came ragged. I typed nothing. For minutes and 14 seconds. The lights outside my window went out, one by one, like the world was being swallowed whole. The footsteps stopped just beyond the door, and then my laptop chimed, a soft, cheerful notification sound. A new line appeared beneath the question. Stream available. Click to view. I stared at it, frozen. My mind screamed, don't click. My hands moved anyway. I clicked. The stream loaded instantly, grainy at first, then sharpening into clarity. It was a view of my apartment. My living room. My door. A figure stood just outside it, barely visible in the dim light. Tall, indistinct, like a shadow given weight. The camera angle shifted. Now it was showing the inside of my apartment. My desk. My laptop. And me. Sitting exactly as I was now, staring into the screen. I spun around in my chair, but there was nothing there, just the empty room behind me. I turned back to the stream. The figure was no longer at the door. It was standing in the corner of my living room, motionless, watching. 1 minute and 37 seconds. My reflection in the window was gone. The stream zoomed in slowly, like someone was controlling the camera. Closer, closer. My own face filled the frame, pale, eyes wide, mouth trembling. Then the chat overlay appeared on the stream. One line of text from admin 000. You wanted to know how you'll die? Keep watching. 59 seconds. The footsteps started again. This time, inside the room. I whipped around. Nothing. My walls felt thinner, like paper. The air itself seemed to pulse with the timer. The stream showed the figure moving. Slowly. Toward me. It stopped just behind my chair. I could feel a cold pressure at the base of my neck. A breath that wasn't mine. I whispered, please. The laptop chimed again. Another line of text. You chose to watch. 8 seconds. The stream flickered, broke into static, then sharpened one last time. The figure was directly behind me now. Its hand raised. I opened my mouth to scream, but no sound came. My breath caught in my throat like ice. 1 second. The screen went black. No timer. No feed. No sound. Just my own face, reflected in the dead screen. And behind me, a shape. Transition. Screen flickers. His breath halts. Timer hits 0. The screen fades in from black. Not his apartment, not his timer, but a familiar interface. YouTube. A random viewer, maybe you, is scrolling late at night. The algorithm feeds you something strange, a video buried between cat clips and news headlines. HowYouDie.net. True story must watch. No thumbnail, Just a grainy black square with a faint white cursor blinking in the corner. Curiosity wins. The viewer clicks. The video opens with static. Then the face of the narrator appears, pale, lit by his laptop screen, eyes hollow. His voice trembles as he recounts everything you've just seen. The site, the countdown, the rules. The final night. It's a perfect retelling, as though the camera had been there all along. But the timestamp on the upload says it went live this morning. The narrator died last night. Comments are locked. Every video on the channel shows a grayed out box where the comment section should be, except this one. At the very bottom, beneath a flood of disabled icons and a pinned warning, a single active field blinks. It's not a comment box. It's a prompt. Enter your name below. The viewer scrolls, unsure if it's a glitch or a feature. The cursor pulses, patient. Above it, in tiny faded text, a single line. You watched. Now you choose. The viewer's mouse hovers over the box. The video continues. The narrator's face flickers, replaced by stills of his apartment, then his door, then static. A whisper curls out of the speakers, almost inaudible but unmistakable. You're next. The viewer jerks back, heart hammering. Did it really say that? They rewind, but the whisper's gone. Just static. The pinned warning blinks once. Twice. Do not refresh. The cursor still waits. Enter your name below. Transition. Static swells. The whisper returns, softer this time, closer. I only uploaded this to warn you. I had no choice. If someone had seen this before me, maybe I could have done the same for myself. But now it's out there, on your screen, waiting, watching. If, by some impossible chance, you scroll down and see your name in the comments, don't click it. Don't even think about it. Some doors, once opened, never close. And yet, curiosity is a hard thing to fight. I know you'll wonder. I know you'll check. So consider this both a warning and a test. The timer isn't here anymore. But somewhere in the code, it's counting. Always counting. Fade out begins. Distorted typing fills the silence, faint and irregular. A single notification chime echoes in the darkness. Then silence. The screen goes black. And somewhere, a whisper lingers. You're next.